Milton Bradley, and I am a writer. More than that, I am a poet. And as a poet, I write and recite all of my own original poetry. Yes, I am no amateur, because as you know, poetry is the rhyming for prose. Thank you for humouring me. Yes, I am Milton Milton Bradley, much like your Bond, James Bond that I've heard so much about, except different in almost every way imaginable. Except for penal girth. The hat of a poet is twofold. See, many artists wear many different hats. A poet, however, wears just the one with the little crease down the middle. Yes, you see, on the left side of the crease, or fold, or half, if you will, a poet is a writer, as I have already described myself to be. On the right side of the hat, a poet is also a performer, or a reciter, if you will, usually of his own work. Now, I am a poet of a particular type of poetry, a writer and reciter of lyrical poetry, which is known as a canto. Canto, yes. And as a reciter of cantos, I am, of course, Cantonese. I also write and recite short cantos, which are known as quartos. Back in ye olde days, poets who wrote and recite quartos would get together in small groups, convene, if you will, and recite their poetry to one another aloud in a small public display. These were, of course, known as quartets. A quartet comprised usually of only 4 performers who would deliberately change the timbre or pitch of their recitation. Some would perform way up high, and some would perform in the middle, and of course, some would recite their poetry way down low. And this, of course, has led to some words that are in the common usage. For instance, a reciter of a quarto who would recite his poetry way down low is, of course, called a quart low. And the quartos were recited in a sort of primitive call and response, such as the very, very well-known pairing of Sing a Song of Sixpence with Lo, I am out of change. Yes, let's see, a short canto is a quarto. A short quarto, for the incurably lazy, is known as an ode. And a short ode is an O, which consists usually of only a single letter, usually the letter O. And they are recited in times of revelation, such as Sir Isaac Newton's I finally understand gravity, if I may. Oh. And they are uttered in times of excitation. Of course, we bring out William Shakespeare's immortal My First Time with a Man. Unfortunately, all copies of this were burned in an inquisitorial purge, so scholars can't exactly agree on which recitation is truest to the original, which leaves Shakespeare to most in a murky brown area, which, if we're to believe the O, is where he preferred to be. A short canto is a quarto, a short quarto is an ode, a short ode is an O, and many people ask me, as one of you is sure like to do aloud here in just a moment, Milton, have you ever written an O?
Milton, have you ever written an O?
Unfortunately, I canto. And with that, I would like to recite for you one of my original cantos, one of my favorite cantos, which was inspired by another poet who goes by the name Theodor Seuss Giesel, who you may know better as Dr. Seuss. This is a poem I have written about hedonism, and it is entitled, "There's No Such Thing as Too Much." There's no such thing as too much drink. Imbibe until you cannot think. Douse yourself in booze and stink, and spill your lunch into the sink. There's no such thing as too much liquor. Drink it fast, then drink it quicker. Drink enough to push your vigor. Drink until the bar lights flicker. There's no such thing as too much smoke. Breathe it till your brain is broke. Puff it in until you choke. You only live until you croak. There is no pipe with too much weed. Smoke it till your throat hole bleeds. It's all that you will ever need. So smoke tobacco with untold greed. There's no such thing as too much sex. I thought you peasants might like that one. All right. There's no such thing as too much sex. My love muscle should always flex, so long as everything erects, for naught else do I so elect. There's no such thing as too much oral. I like it when I feel immoral to see their cheeks puff like a squirrel. So do not stay, thy lips unfurl. There is such thing as too much anal. I tried it once and that was final. 1 is hard, 3's downright painful. That I can't sit leaves me disdainful. And now I'm taking awkward craps. I don't look good in assless chaps, and in the breeze like a red sock flaps, my bleeding rectum doth prolapse. I waddle like a fucking swan. My butthole looks like it's mid-yawn. I fart whenever I cross the lawn. My poo looks like a newborn fawn. 1 night of fun, 3 weeks of grief. I'm streaking in my boxer briefs, and every hour I check for leaks on you still oozing from my cheeks. There is such thing as too much anal. Doing it once is kind of insane. Though, now that I've sobered with morning light, I'll probably do it again tonight.